at 9:30 sharp. Good morning, Jenny Taft. What are you and the guys talking about today?
Good morning, Jenna. Hey, guys. Chris, you're giving her a hard time again.
Always, Jenny, always.
Tough crowd. The clap coming up on Undisputed. Should Kevin Durant listen to his coach and be more aggressive tonight? And the NFL schedule is out, so Skip and Shannon will predict the records for the Cowboys, Patriots, and Browns. Yep, we're going there. Plus, Michael Rappaport and Chris Broussard are in studio. Undisputed coming up next. Jenna, you're doing just fine.
Jenny, thank you. I appreciate that. Have a great show. Time for us to go viral. The Super Bowl champion Patriots threw out the first pitch at a Red Sox game earlier this month, and the Lombardi Trophy paid the price for making the trip to Fenway.
And it was all fun and games until it wasn't.
A lot of interesting things happened.
Gronk thought of a great idea. He'd play around and get a swing. And as he's lined up, Jules is the pitcher. Gronk standing there, and I think we're all under the impression, I mean, no way is he going to swing a Lombardi Trophy.
A little strange. We're thinking he's not going to swing the bat. He's not going to do it. And literally at the last second, when 11 throws the ball, we see 87 go from a batting position to a bunt.
Probably not ideal.
Yeah, Gronkowski's parting gift.
What a doofus, man. That guy's just a big old doofus.
Well, let me tell you something.
Lovable.
He used to be big. Man, how much weight has he lost?
Oh,
You see how skinny his legs are and everything?
Yeah, you can even see it in that picture in his face. But look at the dent in the Lombardi Trophy.
Wow.
He Costanza the thing, Jenna.
Yeah,
there you go for you.
Oh, they got something for that, though. They can go back to that other guy that had that little needle.
Yeah, reflate instead of deflate, inflate.
The same way they took the air out, you can pump it right back in
Exactly
there.
Right.
Just hit it right there. Put a little
What are they going to do? Not play him next year?
Well, yeah, he's retired.
Right.
Okay, so he can't do anything?
So what's going to happen?
It's a party wherever Gronk is.
And why is he laying down a bunt? If you're going to do it, go for it. They're in a little tent. I thought it was going to end with him swinging the Lombardi Trophy in a tent,
Football
taking out Edelman. Yeah,
that could have happened too. Let's get back to last night. Pacers and Celtics. Little basketball now. Game 2. Kyrie went off in this one. He had a game-high 37 points, including that little fadeaway in the fourth quarter. With under a minute left, Pacers leading by 2. Al Horford blocks Bojan Bogdanovic. And on the other end, Jaylen Brown finds Jason Tatum in the corner for 3. Celtics up 1. 15 seconds left. Same score. Tatum underneath Gordon Hayward. Celtics win it 99-91. They now have a 2-0 series lead. Here's Kyrie Irving after the win.
It felt good. It felt good to be here in this position, playing in this arena. It's just been a long journey from having those 2 knee surgeries and watching the team last year and finally getting a chance to lace them up for the Boston Celtics in the NBA playoffs. It's nothing like it.
Nice to see a little more relaxed Kyrie Irving there. Nick, how impressive was Kyrie last night?
He's spectacular. And this was a bigger game for him than I think a lot of people realize, because this was his first great playoff moment that didn't happen alongside LeBron James. He'd only played in 2 playoff games in his career without LeBron alongside him. One was game 1 of this series where the Celtics won through great defense. No one was really good offensively. And the other one was last night, and he was spectacular in every quarter of this game. He was the biggest part of their comeback. They were down 12 early in the fourth quarter. Now, he was on the bench for the beginning of that comeback, but then he came in when the 12-point lead had been whittled to 4, and he on his own went on an 8-0 individual run to complete a 16-0 run. He did everything you'd want him to do. He was fine defensively. He was distributing the ball. He was rebounding. He was great. And this was for Kyrie. I'm as confident as he is. I'm sure there's a level of relief that, oh, I can do this as the guy. I can do this in the playoffs as the guy. And for Boston, it's critical because we know that this team struggled mightily on the road in the playoffs last year. They needed to go up 2-0, and they almost didn't go up 2-0, but Kyrie was spectacular.
I think you make a great point as far as the importance it was for Kyrie. Very seldom we're ever going to have a player who's accomplished as much as him and be in the first round of a playoff game up 1-0, playing at home, thinking that this is a statement game. But for Kyrie, it has been a struggle. And he mentioned some of those things, and Jenna, you picked up on some of it. Not only the 2 knee surgeries, but his whole overall demeanor. How he sat there. We remember Kyrie as a young, playing half a season there at Duke, coming into the NBA. He looked like that kid again, where he had confidence in his game, had confidence in the things. He's a bright guy. He's a thoughtful guy. But this year has been a struggle. The team, him giving us insight on what the team and they're struggling, him letting us know that he reached out to LeBron. So all that you could see, wow, it's been a long season. He's at a different point now, and it was very, very refreshing. He was dominant in all parts of the game. But I think the point that you make, Nick, as far as when he needed to defer, he was able to defer. So he was able to distribute the basketball when he needed, but when he needed to be dominant and be the offensive weapon that we know he could be, man, he took charge of the game. You talked about he had a little extra bounce. His legs look fresher than we've seen him all season. So impressive performance by Kyrie.
And credit to Brad Stevens for not panicking to start that fourth quarter. The Pacers were really good in the third.
Yes.
They have an 11-point lead going into the fourth. It quickly becomes a 12-point lead. Brad Stevens knew the importance of that game. And he could have in that moment, because Kyrie had played so well in the first 3 quarters, said, I'm going to go to Kyrie earlier. They like to rest Kyrie for almost the entire first 5 minutes of fourth quarter so he can be the closer, so he can be fresh late. A lot of coaches in that moment would have said, I got to go to him now. He trusted his other guys to where he gave Kyrie his regular rest, even once they were down 12. His other guys rewarded him by going on an 8-0 run before they inserted Kyrie, and then Kyrie completed that run. Now, despite that, they were still down 1 with less than a minute to play, and they had to have some really good sequences late. Tatum had a huge shot in the corner, and the Pacers spit the bit repeatedly offensively in order to win the game. So they still could have lost, but Brad Stevens did his job. Kyrie did his job.
Look, the narrative just a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, was could this team win on a consistent basis? Could this team win on the road? Could this team win when Kyrie goes out there and has a good game? Remember what the record was while he was actually playing with them and he was on the team. And maybe not in game 1, but in game 2, there were spots where it looks like this team might have flipped a switch or put it all together, or at least leveled up to the expectations we thought we had of this Boston Celtics team coming into the season. Do you think they can repeat this now and put together a playoff run?
Well, I think that there's some real issues. For one, they have a great matchup in the Pacers in round number 1. The Pacers are being a defensive team, best in the NBA, and without their star in Victor Oladipo. So they match up well against them. So what is a long playoff run? Is that the Eastern Conference Finals? And if that is, I don't think they can do it. I think Kyrie is going to be special. I said that before the playoffs, that he was going to send the message, but the style for which they play. Right now, this NBA in the postseason have been 12 games where teams didn't score 100 points. The Celtics have been in 2 of those games. They're 2-0. The rest of the NBA is 0-10. So is that style a style that can win you games in the postseason? I don't think so. So I think Kyrie will be special, but I don't think that pace for which they're playing at, and I know the Pacers are partially responsible for that, but the rest of the NBA, it lets you know there's 10 other examples in there where they didn't get to 100 and the record is 0-10.
If Celtics fans are being honest, they don't feel great. They feel great about the results of these first 2 games, but they don't feel great about the process. Game 1, their offense was awful. It wasn't just the Pacers. Their offense was awful, but their defense was so spectacular, and the Pacers only making 2 baskets in the third quarter, that helps quite a bit. Now their defense caused some of that. Game 2, their offense was okay, and the Pacers' offense went to die in the fourth quarter in this game, where they only made 4 baskets instead of the third quarter in game 1. The Celtics as a whole have not played great. Tatum's been very good. Kyrie was spectacular yesterday, and they might have unlocked a little something with Kyrie and Rozier playing a lot of minutes together.
Yeah, that was a good move by the coach.
Rozier wasn't flush. He wasn't forcing shots. Rozier was great defensively. He was rebounding. He was getting assists, and he was one of the more impactful guys on the court despite not making a lot of shots. But Horford didn't play well. Now he was sick. Jaylen Brown is yet to show up. Gordon Hayward has been who he's been all year. The Celtics.
Marcus Morris is the key. He didn't play well.
Aside from Tatum and Kyrie and Rozier, nobody really played great for Boston yesterday. Now they got to win anyway. They were down with 50 seconds to play. They had a great sequence, and the Pacers, Wesley Matthews shoots as bad of a three as anyone will shoot in all the playoffs. They have an inbounds pass. They throw the ball straight out of bounds across the court.
Don't even get a chance.
Don't even down 3 with 13 seconds left. But the Celtics have to play better offensively if they're going to win on the road. I know they didn't have Kyrie in the playoffs last year. They won one road playoff game the entire postseason that was in overtime against Philly. They're very fortunate to be up 2-0. Kyrie was spectacular, but who have they been to me in this playoffs? The team they were throughout most of the regular season, a team that hasn't fully clicked for.
That's fair.
Maybe it will, but last night, they were underdogs until there were 45 seconds left in that game throughout the second half. They got away with one because Kyrie was special and Tatum was great. I don't know if that's duplicable once they go to Indiana.
But so often we've seen Kyrie be special, Tatum be okay, and the team doesn't win. How much of last night was about him now getting others involved, or at least trying to?
Well, that's what they have to do, because they have to be able to figure out something. And to me, it's more of, do the Celtics players believe? Because the numbers don't say so. But do the Celtics players believe, with Kyrie leading the way, that they are a better team? And I think last night can do wonders for their confidence. Seeing him perform that way, and they needed every bucket. They needed every pass. But this is a game in the NBA now. You need these other role players. They need Al Horford to play better. They need Morris to be able to play better. They need Gordon Hayward to be consistent in the role that they give him to play. And Rozier's got to be able to knock down some shots. So all those things become important for the Celtics.
And forget beating a Victor Oladipo-less Pacers team. They probably will win this series. If they are going to have any chance to make it even a series, much less beat Milwaukee, they need Jason Tatum to keep playing like this. Tatum was their best offensive player in Game 1. He is 6 of 9 from 3 in this series. He's 17 of 31 from the field. He's been efficient. He's been a legit 20-point-a-game scorer in this series. They need him to continue playing at an all-star level.
Especially if they play Milwaukee. We got Chris Middleton being probably their second best player on a regular basis. Giannis, and just say Giannis and Kyrie are able to negate each other. It's important that Tatum is able to play to that level that we know Chris Middleton is playing at, for them to be able to match up with Milwaukee, who will be waiting for them in round 2.
All right, let's look ahead to tonight's game between the Warriors and